The CEO of a company is seen telling everyone that she has distributed the unique super pigs to various nations. Later, they will discover which place is suitable for super breeding. After 10 years, there will be a competition where a super animal award will be given. The caretakers of those animals will also get a reward. The animals that will grow quickly and be healthy will be displayed to the world. After 10 years, a girl appears. Her name was Mija, and she formerly resided in South Korea's mountains. She has kept a super pig with her and named it Okja. She was gathering some fruit when she gave the command Okja to enter the water. She needs fish, and her grandfather has a microphone at his house that he can use to call Mija whenever he wants. Mija and Okja slept in the forest, and when they woke up, they took a detour. As a result, she rushes to get home and trips over her foot. As she descends the mountain, Okja pulls her to safety using a rope. It falls while saving her, and then she moves down to find her friend Okja. Then she calls it Okja, and thankfully Okja was fine. She hugs it, and we discover from it that they were good friends. Mija was having dinner with her grandfather that evening, so her uncle let her know that he was coming. He is her uncle and a representative of that business who gave her the super pig. Mija goes to Okja at night to sleep, and they have a deep attachment. The next day, her uncle arrives at their home with his team. He has placed a device in Okja's ears with which he discovers its health. Additionally, her uncle, who breeds the super pigs, is seen by a doctor. The doctor gets shocked to see the super pig of Mija. He hasn't seen this kind of super pig in his life. He claims in an interview that we sent those super pigs to various nations 10 years ago. Since we haven't seen any super pigs like Okja up until this point, Mija and her grandfather were given the moniker of the super pig. The doctor asks her grandfather how he kept it and how it is so healthy. He advises them to leave it unchecked in the mountains because anyone who lives close to nature will remain healthy. The grandfather brings Mija to her parents' grave and gives her a gold pig. Mija inquires, "Why are you giving it to me?" He claims that Okja is moving far away from you, but she counters that since we bought it, how can they take it? After admitting to lying to her and telling her that Okja doesn't belong to us, the grandfather tells Mija that the company will move Okja into a different department tonight. After that, they'll take it to America, and Mija becomes depressed upon hearing this. She was furious with her grandfather for not informing her earlier and ran towards her house. She reaches home, but there was none because they had already taken Okja. She turns to head for the road but notices they have taken Okja into a car. She returns home and takes her gold pig along with money and says, "I will save Okja." According to her grandfather, that is its fate and it must become the food of others. We can't change it. Mija doesn't stop and runs towards the train. When she gets to the corporate office, she tries to speak with the receptionist but finds that she isn't paying attention. So, she smashes down the door and goes inside. She was looking for her uncle in the office when she noticed Okja being loaded into a truck. When she went downstairs, the truck was still being sent from there. Mija doesn't lose courage and runs to get on the truck. She kept saying Okja's name over and over, and it could hear her voice. Meanwhile, another truck is shown, with 2 masked men inside. They tell the driver of the truck where there was an Okja. "Listen to us, we aren't robbers or terrorists. Please come to a halt, we have an urgent task for you." Surprised to learn who they were, Okja's uncle and the truck driver spoke up. The truck reaches a tunnel, and the masked man stops the truck. They take it out, then Mija calls Okja from a distance. Okja moves towards Mija as it sees her and runs from there while making Mija sit on it. They reach the road from the tunnel while running and then reach an underground mall. The masked men were also chasing them. While running, Mija and Okja's condition deteriorates, and the masked men carry them into the truck. They tell Mija they are ALF, means from Animal Liberation Fund. They are animal lovers, and their task is to save animals. That's why they saved Okja, and their group has been doing this job for 40 years. They also expose the wrong people, and their leader tells Mija they will send Okja to a lab. Then it will go through different experiments. Later, it will be sent to the pig competition. The leader tells there were many other animals made in that lab like Okja. It isn't easy to reach that lab. That's why they have to place a device in its ear. There was a policy in their company that if Mija refused, Okja would not be sent to the lab. Mija says she wants to go back into the mountains with Okja, but the companion of the leader lies and says Mija is agree. Then they place the device in its ears. Leaving Mija and Okja, they jump into the water. The police arrived, and the corporation was defamed because of all this. Upon observing this, the company's CEO devises a plan to have Mija and Okja meet in a competition. Additionally, neither their business nor their reputation will suffer. Mija's uncle, who is a worker here, was taking Mija with him to New York. As the company has ordered him and the media was taking their pictures, so they will make Mija meet with Okja. Mija reads an English book on the plane for learning English. Then Okja, who was sent to the lab, is shown, along with other animals, but the doctors are taken aback to see an animal like Okja. On the other hand, the ALF company began recording as well. The doctor in the lab bred Okja, and the ALF group was watching this, and one of them said Mija wasn't ready for this experiment. "I lied to you." Now the leader of this company hits the group member. He fires him because his decisions were detrimental to the company. The doctors prepare Okja's meat for the others to taste. Everyone was surprised to discover that the meat was both healthy and tasty. On the other hand, Mija was compelled to prepare, and the company head had shown up, helping her and saying, "Mija, don't worry, we have a plan, so we will save both of you. We will expose this corporation as we have all the recordings of the lab and the company has started its event outside." Mija was brought there and announced that she will meet Okja. Okja does not recognize her, and the company has screened all of the doctor's videos of the lab experiments he has conducted. The crowd becomes enraged and attacks the doctor. Okja was also out of control and attacking Mija. Then the head of ALF hits Okja to save her. Then Mija stops the rod because she doesn't want her friend to be harmed. When Mija sees Okja, she whispers something into his ear. The CEO of this company loses everything, which is why she hands over control to her twin sister. Her name was Nancy, and she approached the army and requested that they apprehend members of the ALF. They were running to their truck while taking Mija and Okja. Everyone was being held by the officers one by one, and it appears that Mija and the leader are about to be apprehended. The group member who had falsely claimed that Mija had consented to the experiment then brings the car there and saves Mija and his leader. Nancy, the new CEO, has halted all experiments with her sister. She has also closed the lab and ordered the slaughter of all the animals. The super pigs will now be slaughtered and sold for human consumption. Mija goes to the facility of this corporation at night. There were thousands of pigs and Mija was searching for Okja and the leader was also with her. Then Mija sees that Okja was taken to slaughter. She moves inside and sees the meat of super pigs being processed. She witnesses him being about to be killed by a man, but she nonetheless displays her photo with him. She was pleading with him not to kill it when Nancy and her security team arrived. The security guards hold the head of ALF and his companion. Mija pleads with Nancy to let her and Okja go, but Nancy snaps that it is now my property. It is just a business, nothing else. Their meat is in demand in the market, and their lives are just money for us. The head of ALF was also requesting for them to let them go, but Nancy had given the orders to kill it. She asks her to stop and offers her the gold pig that was given to her by her grandfather. When Nancy encounters the gold pig, she is startled. She then deals with Mija and requests that her security deliver them safely to their car. Mija and Okja were taken from the building, and two pigs sent their baby to Okja because their eyes were somehow telling them to save their child. Okja hides the kid in its mouth. As time goes on, Okja and Mija are eventually broadcast in South Korea. At their residence, they had the young pig, and Mija resided with her grandfather. The movie ends here. Thank you for watching, and check out another movie recap displayed on the screen.